So we are starting Unit 3, which is our linear unit, and we're going to start this unit by looking at sequences. And a sequence is just a list of numbers. Sometimes the sequence has a pattern, sometimes it doesn't. Two types of patterns we're going to be looking for today are arithmetic, which are sequences that have a common difference, meaning you're adding the same amount to the terms in the sequence. The second is called geometric, and that's when you're multiplying the same amount by the terms in the sequence. So we are on Learning Target 14, Day 1. Our essential question is, how do I determine and extend a pattern in a sequence? So our first example, we've got a sequence, a list of numbers. Our sequence is 5, 2, -1, -4. Our job is to describe the pattern and give the next three numbers in the sequence. So in the right-hand column here, we have our list of steps. The first step is to see if we can find a common ratio, meaning a common multiplier, or a common difference, meaning a common number that we're adding to each term. So the easiest one to check for is adding and subtracting. So I'm looking at 5 minus 3 would give me 2. 2 minus 3 would give me -1. And -1 minus 3 would give me -4. So I notice that there is a common difference. All right, step 2, if not, so we can skip step 2 because we found a common difference. And then step 3 is extend the pattern. So the way we do that is continue to add or subtract that amount that we just found. So -4 minus 3 is -7, minus 3 is -10, minus 3 is -13. So those would be the next three numbers in our sequence. Next example, our sequence is 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. So the first thing I'm going to look for is a common difference. 1 plus 1, 2 plus 1, looking good so far. But then we've got a plus 2, plus 3, plus 5, which is not a common difference. We could look for a common multiplier. 1 times 2 gives us 2. But 2 times no integer gives us 3, so it doesn't have a common ratio. So now this is step 2. If not, if there's no common difference and no common ratio, determine if there's some other pattern we can figure out. Well, when I'm looking at those red numbers at the bottom, they're looking pretty similar to some of the numbers that I see sitting in my sequence. If I skip the first plus 1, it is my sequence. 1, 2, 3, 5. So I'm thinking my pattern is add the previous term. So I'm going to go ahead and extend the pattern by doing 13 plus 8, which gives me 21. And then I'm going to add the previous term, which is now 13. So I've got 13 plus 21 gives me 34. And 21 plus 34 gives me 55. All right, last example. Hopefully you guys recognize fairly quickly, we've got a common ratio on this one. 2 times 2 gives me 4, times 2 gives me 8, times 2 gives me 16. So the next three terms, 16 times 2 gives me 32, times 2 is 64, times 2 is 128.